But like in theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Another great show ahead. Man, we got lots of insights and intel today, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Get into the chat, get your comments in, and yeah, we've got many topics to talk about. We got some big changes on PulseChain, big mega changes on PulseChain. We've already seen the OA earlier this week do massive staking for 7 days, and we're going to have a quick look at that later on. With the impact on T shares, I indicated how much that was yesterday, I think it was. But man, big time. And so we're moving on from the Hex OA now down to the PulseX as well. So the Hex OA there impacting Hex, particularly short-term yield. And we're going to also talk about PulseX, the incentive token. Inflation has been cut dramatically. We're going to talk about that. We're going to give an update on PUSD Algo and a Signum Oracle. That combo, very important together for PulseChain. Then when we get on to X28/TitanX Omnichain move is very imminent. And of course, Ouroborus launches as well. The big lending platform stablecoin for TitanX ecosystem is also imminent launch within, I'd say, the next 24 hours probably. So very excited about that. Following that, we're going to see more launches probably from the DEXs and farms. Going on to Omnichain base chain. So lots in store, lots. So let's get into it, get into the chat there as well. All right, without further ado, let's add in the stage there. We're going to quickly, briefly go through the stock market, ending for Friday, right? So the close of the week, S&P 500 slumped on the Friday as fresh tariffs, inflation jitters bite. Now, we all know that's pretty much a Trump tactic for the most part, but there will be significant incomes coming from tariffs to feed Trump's agenda. We've got the Dow Jones down 1% there, S&P 500 down 1%, and NASDAQ down 1.33% there. So the Dow Jones are down 443 points to 44,300. S&P 500 down 57 points to 6,026. The NASDAQ down 268 points, down to 90,523. So that's where we landed there. Trump warns of reciprocal tariffs on many countries next week. So moving away from Canada, Mexico, China, and going further afield, particularly focused on the EU, which is probably where they could do some good moves there. EU is probably the most, apart from China, the most troublesome set of countries out there in terms of authoritarianism. So hopefully it has an impact on that as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Ahead of the tariffs, the EU has already attempted to offer concessions. So they're trying to front run that. That's typically what they do. They got weak leadership, right? Weak, but authoritarian. So this was the worst. Is it worst combination? I don't know. You guys decide. It certainly has certain aspects to it. They could lead the deal. Bird Lang there, the head of trade committee in the European Parliament, told the Financial Times on Friday that the bloc was prepared to cut its 10% import tax on cars to the EU to get close to the 2.5% levy charged by the US. So trying to move to parity there. That might be a better play. Now, inflation is also obviously on the cards there. So that's going to be something we're going to look forward to coming up. The updated inflation expectations arrived just as data showed non-farm payrolls rolls 143,000 in January, down from the upwardly revised 307,000. So a lot less jobs there. Missing the forecast of 169,000, adding to inflation worries. So we'll keep a lookout on that. The recent comments from the Fed officials show that they are in no hurry to cut rates again after reducing the Fed funds rate 100 basis points since September. That was last year's cuts, right? Nothing in the start suggests they should hasten. So, and of course, Trump ended up saying it was okay for the time being, even though the Fed is independent. We'll see what changes they try to do through that, probably through the House and Senate is my guess. So keep a lookout for that. That might be something in store for the the Fed, who is kind of questionable their faithfulness to their independence. So we shall see. Anyway, that's the stock market. Let's jump over to crypto. We're not going to go through all our charts today, but we will just have a quick look at Bitcoin. 96,827. That is up by 0.1%. The dominance is quite high, 59.71%. Remember, before the altcoin season in the last bull market, it was close to 70% before it started retracing there. But of course, we have two major differences from then. One is that we now have millions of tokens around. Every cat and dog can issue their own token, as it were. And we also have massive institutional lending. Everybody is basically on the playfield now, except it's just the beginning, right? It's just the genesis period. And we're going to see sovereign states, corporates, global states into the crypto market, particularly the leaders, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, and no doubt PulseChain will be on the radar there. So going to be pretty exciting. So that's where we are at the moment. ETH at the moment down 2.25%, $2,639. Obviously, Richard Hart having a tirade of posts the other day. We read them all out. And of course, talking about Ethereum not really running and playing itself down. That being said, I still think it's got all the institutional banking, and we've seen a lot of capital flow in there. So I'm not too worried about ETH myself, but definitely all those second layer protocols, the EIP upgrades and everything have damaged the value proposition for ETH. But I still think that when the market wants to go, it's going to go and send it on the uptrend. So that's going to be right at the moment. We are in February, right? The most green month of the year. Pretty much. There's 2 months really the green, but this is February, definitely a good one. We're already about the 7th, the first week. And of course, we've had a bit of a rough start, but maybe the next 2-3 weeks will go super green. So keep a lookout for that. I'm still pretty happy with Bitcoin as at the moment, has managed to defend 92,000 many times. So let's see where it goes for this next big run. All right, so Solana there, up 1.6%, $193. BNB pretty much up slightly, $578. ADA down 1% there at just under 71 cents. Litecoin at just under $1.04, down slightly. Tron almost down 1% at 23 cents. Those are our majors, folks. Those are our majors. See if we've got any comments. No comments. Get in the chat there if you've got comments. Now, moving to the big news today, of course, PulseX incentive inflation cut 10x. This was always an option on the cards to cut incentive token inflation. We have discussed it in the past, but of course, it was quite in the past. We left it in the clouds, but it has happened. So incentive. So this is one of the let's call it what do we call it, the magic cartwright mechanisms. One of the dials that Richard could touch, and of course we've got incentive inflation cut just a 10x, massive. All national currencies become worthless over time due to inflation. Inflation bad. Bad man. What was it? Bad man orange. It is historical fact. Inflation steals value from holders and earners. Inflation is the enemy. PulseX burns PulseX. So incentive token, which is the reward for PulseX farms, right, has been cut at 10x now. PulseX V1, right? V1 farms, selected peers, and PulseX burns PulseX. And of course, we've been monitoring that. We're going to see the update for that soon later as well. PulseChain is burning. PulseChain is burning. So everything is going dramatic on the Richard Hart tokens today. This is a major move. PulseChain is burning, and there are fewer Pulse now than when it launched. So that is going particularly well. I think that's EIP 1559, if I remember rightly. Hex stakers just made massive stakes which cut inflation. So Hex stakers just made massive stakes, which cuts inflations to new stakers as well. Talking about the Origin account that we've been talking about. So massive changes here on all fronts. So this is a major move by Richard Hart there. Whoever runs those accounts, who knows? Pump Tires, which is Richard's recently launched and promoted there, or at least somebody that Richard knows. Pump Tires code burns Pulse, so major mechanism there to speed up the burning of Pulse as well. Hart's law: if things increase in value, the things traded with them increases in value as well, as their prices are bonded by liquidity of the order book. So you are lowering the inflation of Hex, you're lowering the inflation of incentive token, you are burning Pulse, the underlying key coin for the chain, and so lifts all boats with Hart's law. And PulseX has been burned, of course, by fees So it's game on. This is an acceleration of value in the ecosystem. In a world where supply and demand sets price, scarcity is nice, and that is the end game there. Increased scarcity. There, Ethereum, come check your free coins. Now, obviously, marketing to the Ethereum bros. And of course, yesterday he was doing a whole tirade of posts telling Ethereum, you got to get your act right, Vitalik, because you need to increase your value proposition, despite the fact of institutional money potentially pushing an uptrend during crypto bull market. So that is kind of where we are at the moment. This is the PulseX pulse ratio, 0.65, and that's the chart that he's posted there. So pretty big major moves there from Richard Hart, or whoever controls these addresses, you decide. Lol, Ethereum bridge to Pulse chain. And of course, one of the things we've seen is that the value of the Pulse chain costs has gone up through the roof. We had 93, 94 million beats. That's the Gwei equivalents over on a Pulse chain. It rocketed. Look at that thing just spike up there. And of course, we've seen there, that's on the incentive token cut. We've seen the ratio to Gwei on Ethereum, and the ratio there 1.09 Ethereum. So basically the same cost on Pulse chain to do business as Ethereum when Gwei on Ethereum is 2 Gwei. And of course on Bitcoin, only 4.3 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So major things there from Richard Hart. And of course, huge views on that, 45,000 views on that, and well over 89,000. It's probably head towards 100,000 by now on that as well. And that's all happened in the last 8 hours. So pretty dramatic stuff happening here on the old Pulse chain. We've got Van Salmon, how's that high alt INC rocket? That's right. So we're going to have a look at the impact of cutting that inflation. And of course, let's have a look there. So remember that the impact on Hex short stakers as well also had a play, which is important because, the inflation was getting quite high, about 7.5 Hex per T-share. So some mad gains there being cut back. All right. So we always said the OA is kind of like a Federal Reserve for Hex. So we've also got the incentive token seems to be the same. There we go with the inflation being cut back. Let's jump over to Pulse chain, Go Pulse. This is the results at the moment. So day 638 has just started. So we just finished day 637. We're only, an hour and 40 minutes, I think it is, into day 638. Pulse at the moment is at quadruple 0552, up 17.3%, 55% of the sacrifice price at the moment. PulseX is at quadruple 0404, up 42%. Just remember what Richard Hart was saying about PulseX eats PulseX there with the fees, and that is burning away. We got quadruple 0404, and that is 40% of the mean sacrifice price. So still lots of upside value for PulseX. Massive. And the buy and burn, which Richard was talking about, the fees they're eating PulseX, 1,246 billion so far. That's 6.26% of the public supply of PulseX is bought up and burned. That's amazing. Incentive token at the moment is gets even better. So 42%, not bad for PulseX, but incentive token is up $2.74. I just said yesterday or the day before, whenever I was streaming, that this had been sold off dramatically. Well, it has rebounded dramatically. It's now up. The ratio is at $2.74, up 107% today. And the ratio is almost back at 50,000. If I remember yesterday, we were like 30 something. Now we're at 49,872 Pulse per one incentive token. Dramatic. Now the supply is just under 55 million based on this data, assuming that is up to date. Hex at the moment is at on Pulse chain is at 1.33 cents, up 13.5%. So Hex only having modest growth there, probably with that inflation impact there. Obviously, the incentive inflation being cut 10x has made incentive a lot more scarce, and therefore we see a big rally in that incentive. But of course, if you cut inflation on incentive token, what does that do? The farm yield. Well, we're going to have a look at that in a minute. EHEX at the moment at quarter of a penny, holding up pretty well. The combined price, EHEX and PX, is at 1.58 cents. I think that was down like 2 days ago. Yesterday, whenever I did my last stream, was down at 1.33, I think. So we're almost at 1.6 cents combined, EX and PX. So that is the play. Let's have a look at some of the other metrics. Gas prices have still elevated. So even though we saw that big spike to like 94 million beats, we're currently at 7.8 million. So definitely things are more expensive on PulseX, 20 cents at the moment for a PulseX swap. Let's have a look at the validators, 45,500 validators, and the bridge. Bridge is at 118,000. So I'm just trying to think whether that's higher than what I saw the other day. I think it's pretty similar. I think it's down slightly, maybe. I think we're at 118.6 or something like that. So just down slightly there. Let's jump over to the overall on PulseChain. 133.8 million in 24-hour on volume on PulseChain. Not bad, not bad. And of course, where's PulseChain sitting on Dex Screener? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, number 6 at the moment with the old PulseChain volume. And of course, that has been absolutely spurred on by the inflation cut, the incentive token, and of course that pump.tires website that Richard Hart's promoted there. And of course, when you launch tokens on there, he gets to own the most of them, right? So whoever's set that up gets to own the most of them. You can decide that is the play. Now, we got some interesting tokens. Now, you've got to go through the age now because of all the pump tires platform tokens. They were, launching them all the time. But we do have the incentive token here. That is sitting at number 4 with all the other peers dominating the top 10. And that's up 100%, as we say at the moment. Not bad at all, up at $2.60. So let's have a look at one of these LPs. We're going to go to the incentive pulse on V1 and have a look at that. So a massive re-rate, right? So we were way down at $1.30 and is now at $2.52. Has been as high as almost $3. So that's essentially well over 2x there on the US dollar pump. Let's have a look at ratio to pulse though, which is typically what we've been looking at. This is on the daily, and we were all the way down. Yeah, 20. Actually, we got even lower than 30, whatever I was talking about the other day. We got all the way down at 27,900, and we've pumped all the way back to 52,000, and now we're at 47,800. So incredible re-rate there. That's on the daily candle. Pretty crazy. Let's have a look on the weekly, see what that looks like. That is incentive token since it launched. So wow, what a rebound that is. And almost how high is it going to go? Could hyper rally, right? So 31,000, could it get to 300? I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Could it get to 300,000 back into the third week of the day? Let's see what happens there with that. So pretty crazy. Now, obviously, the inverse, it may be incentive token is scarce, but of course, the impact on the yield farms also has a play. What will that do to liquidity? I did see in the last couple of hours, we did see some liquidity going back over the bridge. It's going to be interesting to see what that does. But at the moment, we've still got the die here. All the ratios have gone down, essentially gone down like from 40% down into, 10, 12, 13, sub 10% marks on some of these. So pretty crazy stuff. So we've got at the moment the PulseX pulse yield is 1.38%. The liquidity there, 42.7 million. The DAI Ethereum, DAI from Ethereum, that's a bridged in DAI from Ethereum to PulseChain, 11.6%. Pretty sure these were all around 40% plus or minus some percentages there. We haven't had a look at these for a little while. USDC there at 13% versus Pulse. Wrapped ETH versus Pulse at 6.3%. USD Tether versus Pulse at 9.8%. So these yields have come down. There's still pretty decent liquidity in those pools, 14 million on the wrapped ETH. Versus Ethereum, it's ETH, of course. We've got 6.7 million USDC. USD Tether still at 8.9 million there. I didn't have a snapshot before what these looks like, but that's what we're at the moment. We could probably jump onto these peers and have a look at those individually. But pretty amazing because I'm pretty sure they have the liquidity there. Almost 10% on that one. Hex Pulse there is at 3.4%. Incentive Pulse is at just under 5%, and Incentive PulseX at 3.7%. So some dramatic changes there in the liquidity. Now I'm just going to jump on this one here. I'm not sure if that actually has the peer on it. It's been let's have a look. It's been a while since I jumped on those. We might have to have a look on the info tab. Let's give a quick look over there. So some dramatic things happening. Let's go to V1. V1. Let's jump to V2 for some reason. V1. It's got stuck. That was V1. There we go. You can see the volumes just spike up here. Look at those volumes. Massive volume spikes. But let's have a look at, hopefully we'll have the token pools come up. Sometimes they take a little while to render. We've got Go Positive in the house there. Hi, everybody. Good to see Go Positive. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, some major changes today. And Tin Top as well. What's up, Hexkins? Well, the OA, that's what's up. That's for sure. All right, so let's have a look at some of these. We've got incentive token here. Let's jump into this one. I'm pretty sure that I think the chart had a liquidity on it, but we'll check. It keeps jumping to V2. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But let's see if that comes up with the chart. We'll give it a minute. Well, not quite a minute. We'll give it a few seconds. All right, liquidity, yeah. look at that spike up there. So actually, it's not doing too bad, is it? That's the incentive token there, liquidity. I don't know if that's the pair though. Volume there, 1.85 million, liquidity 2.5. The volume there, all pretty spiked. Yeah, so some pretty crazy stuff. The stables as well, which is another innovation that came out from Richard Art's team. They're still ticking along. They're pretty stable, 98 cents, 99 and $1. So they're still ticking away, and I think they were morphed together, wasn't they? Like a $dollar as well. So ticking away on those and having decent volume going through too, like 5 million each, 4 million. Still decent liquidity, 1.1 million, 1.3 million for DAI. Just over 400,000 for USDC. So ticking away there on the stables. I'm not sure why it keep defaulting to V2, but there we go. All right, so that is the dramatics today. That is what's happened. A cut in inflation incentive tokens. The farm yields have gone down dramatically from 40%, let's say, to down to 10, 12%, something like that, 6%, depending on the farm. Pretty crazy stuff. All right, so we'll keep watching the amount of liquidity in there. So you can come back to this video and check out what they were on this day, because we've got a little video recording of it now. And we've got that just under 46,000 pulse per incentive at the moment on incentive token. Pretty crazy. All right, so what else we got going on that's pretty crazy? Obviously, we've got quite a few of these pump tire tokens in there. They're a couple of days old, 5 days, I think, old now. The first tokens are, aren't they? So pretty crazy. We've also got Solid X doing pretty well. That's been out for what, up 41% to $17.56. We are waiting for that that game from Eric from Dragon X that has not come out yet. And of course, what was that going to be? That was going to be I know the game too. Just forgotten the name of it. You say it all the time. Just forgotten. Let me know in the chat if you guys remember. It might come back to me. So we'll see. PulseX is also up 32%. Talked about that. Some of the other coins. Any other coins that have been around for a while? Yeah, we've got Jupiter. Jupiter's up 43%. Gelato's been around for 2 months, and Incognito, they're both up 66, 46% respectively. Otherwise, we've got all these pump tokens at the top, right? These are relatively new from the pump.tires one. And otherwise, we've got a pretty green across the board. Like, you know, we've got lots of them. Been around 5 months, 9 months. PDC the Greys doing pretty well as always. I think we got the PDC the Greys Pulse down here, this one here. Let's have a quick look at that. That has been doing amazing, hasn't it? The PDC the Greys. I got that weekly. I don't know why that one hasn't been around for very long. Maybe that's off the wrong page. Let's have a look here. PDC the Greys. Yeah, that one there. Sorry, I must have picked up the wrong one. Is that the right one? Yeah. All right. Cool. So this PDC the Greys. Man, look at this thing. 1/10 of a penny. You got to give a round of applause for PDC the Greys here. Doing incredible. Now, you know, Titanx, most similar one, I believe, is Shogun. It's similar to PDC the Greys. So we're going to keep a lookout for how that performs on Ethereum. But this is at 1/10 of a penny. The ratio to pulse, let's have a look. 19.37. I mean, it hit 20, didn't it? Crazy, right? Okay, crazy. In fact, the all-time high is 20.87 pulse per one PDC the Greys. And of course, it had quite a pullback there at 14.85 the other day, a couple of days ago. So what a nice rebound that is. Pretty awesome. So overall, Pulse Chain doing pretty amazing. Now we wanted to talk quickly about the OA. Not only did the incentive token inflation get cut 10x, but the OA has moved dramatically as well. And we can see that day 1894, which is the EHEX day, but here on Pulse Chain as the 25th, the 6th of February day, and we had the T-share rate only jump up 18.8 to 39,910 on Pulse Chain. So that's the share rate. That's what you get when you stake your hex or mine your hex, as it were. Let's have a look at the T-share jump though, because this is dramatic, right? So I think have I crossed it? Have I passed it? T-share market cap, T-shares, here we go. So we were actually, T-shares were declining. So they were going down very low. I think what they used to be up at like 11, 12 million, and they're down to 8.7 million. But the OA went and staked something like 250 billion hex. And of course, that's dramatic. I have public supply hex, must be pretty low. I don't know exactly the number, but with inflation, no, it could be somewhere around 13 billion plus or minus, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know the exact number. Maybe Crispy Man has a better idea of that, but that's kind of where we are. 18.4. So we jumped from 8.7 million to 18.4 million because the OA massive staking there, pretty dramatic, right? So I think we had the number pretty huge. Actually, 350, not 250, 350 billion there got staked. How about that? Wow. Change in circulating supply of Hex. Wow. Whoa. So that's a major move there. Pretty huge. Now, I'm not sure where's the total supply. We got total supply locked of Hex jumped from 64.3 billion to 415 billion. How about that? That's crazy, right? So that is the stakes lock supply. Crazy stuff. So change in lock supply there, 290. Let's see, we got enough circulating supply here. So that took us, once we had we had 597 billion Hex on Pulse Chain. With that staking from the OA, we went down to 246 billion circulating there. But a lot of that's still the OA, right? So OA somewhere people say controls 95% or something like that. So that is the play. Pretty crazy stuff, man. We jumped from 9.72% of locked coins on Pulse Chain. This happened on Ethereum as well, to 62.71%. Isn't that 9.72 of coins locked to 62.71%? That is crazy stuff. Remember, the total supply was 597 billion, and that has jumped to 62.71. Interesting number to lock there. Obviously, a relative targeted amount was done there. That number that was picked. So pretty crazy. What else we got? The payout is so that what that means that this payout was about 68 million Hex payout per day is now getting split along to the OA, capturing a lot of that value, right? So that's what's happened there. The penalties are pretty high as well. 4 million, 6 million. So not bad there with the penalties. And that a lot of that will go into the OA now too. So pretty dramatic there. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to say about that. What do you guys reckon? That is insane. So those numbers insane. Now I don't have the EHEX numbers because they're behind. It's only got the 2nd of February, so we're about 5-6 days behind them. So we'll keep a lookout for that in the next couple of days to see how those changes. But that is kind of a highlight there on the Hex numbers. So I hope you guys enjoyed going through that. I said we're going to go through a lot of stuff today. Now you can probably find me more information on Crispy Man's show. Big shout out to him. He's kind of the guru on Hex these days with the next level of detail and being an analyst in Hex, and he's got his own websites and lots of stuff. So kind of cool. Now that leads us into PUSD Algo. Yeah, we have an update. Yeah, boy. Now you guys know Jacob has got the #1 GameFi, that's Mafia game on Pulse Chain, also playing on BNB. That is also not only the #1 GameFi on Pulse Chain, but also the #1 or the only metaverse on Pulse Chain, and the #1 NFT marketplace on Pulse Chain. We had about 7 or 8 NFT marketplaces launched in the early days, and I think there's only a few of those left standing, and they generally have pretty low volume. It'd be pretty interesting to go through to see what volume they're ranked, but I don't think any of them are near Mafia. Mafia is crushing it in the NFT marketplace and dominating all those 3 categories. But PUSD Algo would bring in the DeFi stablecoin element, and that'd be total domination of an ecosystem, making it a really blue chip ecosystem on Pulse Chain. Could be pretty exciting. We don't know how it's going to be integrated. We also know that there's going to be online casino integration as well with Pulse Pot, BNB Pot kind of things, Pulse Predict, the sports betting site. So we're looking forward to those developments as well. There could be some pretty big partnerships coming along, has been the rumor. And so this ecosystem from Jacob, as I call it, Jacob's ecosystem, is going to go next level. Now, timing is always the challenge. Can be very frustrating for those of us following because there's no time frames are really given, and so we're just sort of moving along. So the one thing you have to be patient about is time frames. But at the end of the day, they're still building out some credible protocols and value on Pulse Chain, and particularly dominating when they do get to market, which is pretty cool. Now, we've obviously got here PUSD Algo. We've obviously got 4 stable coins already that are pegged, that are native to Pulse Chain. Coast, of course, the fiat-backed one, then the 3 liquidity forks, including USDL, PXDC, and HEXDC. Those later 2 from Power City. First, USDL from Liquid Loans, and of course, Coast from the Coast team, right? CST from the Coast team. But PUSD Algo could be the first true scalability stablecoin on Pulse Chain. and that would solve the third part of the stablecoin trilemma, which would really complete the Pulse Chain stablecoin offering. PUSD, of course, is a perfect branding for Pulse Chain. P in the USD standing for Pulse Chain, and so PUSD there. Algo is the main coin for the platform or token, and that is means algorithmic, right? So this is going to be basically Terra Luna done right, and you know how big Terra Luna got, so that scalability issue could be amazing and solved for us. And of course, this is not going to be full DeFi though, so the solution is completely different to what Terra Luna had. It's going to be DeFi stability miners that are operating, and they keep support of the peg for the stablecoin. And the stablecoin itself is going to be double secure because it's going to be based on USDL, which is underpinned by liquidity, right? So that's massive. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting. You're going to be multiple ways of earning on the platform, right? By providing liquidity and by staking and earning and all sorts of stuff like that. It's going to have a V3 DEX, which could outdo and become the second biggest DEX after PulseX. And that's probably been lifted today by the incentive token inflation cut. So we could see it really do dominance there over 9mm and 9-inch. The possibilities are endless with the domination. So I'm very, very excited about that. We know that Cold DeFi is out there as the front man for Jacob, doing a great job pulling in at least a good dozen influencers on Pulse Chain, and even on BNB talking about Jacob's products. So I'm very excited about where this is heading. Now, we did have an update on this, so I'm going to give you a brief update. So let's get into that. So Signum gave an update. So Signum is the oracle it needs. So it needs an oracle for the price calls for the stable coin. You need reliable price calls, and therefore you need what they call reporters providing those calls. And so our oracles can do price calls, can do non-price calls, and can do all sorts of other different types of data types as well as it scales up. So very excited. Now, we were expecting a big oracle coming out of liquid loans, if you guys remember, but that ended up not even coming to market. Who knows why? Don't know why, but that just didn't happen. But Signum is coming, and here's the update, 7th of February. So this is a straight update from the Signum team, which is providing the first proper oracle on Pulse Chain. There are teams running centralized oracles in their own platforms like Power City, but we're looking for these decentralized ones with reporting systems. Signum says, we want to let you know that we will be delayed in rolling out the ability to run reporters on the Signum protocol. It is on testnet. Since the beginning of December, I have been sick with the flu, which then developed into post-viral. So you obviously got pretty sick, and it's been a rough couple of months. This is what's delayed the Signum coming to market already. That would have also delayed PUSD Algo. This kept me very sick throughout January, and I've only just returned to work a week ago. As of yesterday, so it would be in the 6th of February, our lead engineer and another key team member also now offered the flu during what has been reported as one of the worst virus seasons here. So I don't know where. I think they're in Europe or somewhere. Don't know, but that's, or maybe America, but they got pretty ill there. Because of this, Signum, which is the Oracle reporting feature, won't go live until everybody is feeling better and back at work. We expect that this reporting feature will be ready to go between early next week and at some point in the 3rd week of February. So that's when we're kind of looking at the 3rd week of February. So we're currently on the 7th, 8th, depending where you are at the moment. So that would bring us into probably into the week of the 17th, possibly the end, maybe the 17th to 20th. There, so somewhere in there, we could see the Oracle. That'd be the 3rd week of February. So keep your calendars out there for the 17th of February onwards. But that's when we might get Signum. Why is that important? Obviously, we need an Oracle for Pulse Chain, but we also need an Oracle for PUSD Algo. So that's very important. Now, that also will trigger Jacob's update on PUSD Algo. We already seen him post on Telegram, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. So deployment, so we still can't commit. They can't commit to an exact date for it, but will be 3rd week of February is what they're targeting. Please know that getting this up and running will be our first priority as soon as the team is back to work. So this could be in the next 10 days plus. Yeah, 10 days plus from now, we could see the Signum Oracle up and running live, not just on testnet. So it's pretty huge for Pulse Chain, a big deal for PUSD Algo, the big stable coin, which is going to be huge for Pulse Chain. Deployment of the reporting features is very complex and can't be handed off to another engineer. We have to get this part right the first time, since the whole protocol is completely immutable. So we're all pretty used to that in crypto. Thanks for your continued patience. We're looking forward to everyone soon being able to use the first decentralized Oracle on PulseChain, and that's from Signum community update. So that was the 7th of February. Pretty awesome. So that's from the Telegram. Now, before that though, probably about 20 days early. Oh, well, actually, more like was it 13? Maybe about 2.5 weeks earlier, we had an awakening, as I could say it, in the PUSD Algo Telegram, because Jacob got in there. Obviously, Jacob's been pushing Mafia and other updates in some of the casinos, but he did an update for PUSD Algo after a long time. And this was this. He had comments in the chat there, said, "This beast ain't going nowhere." This is regarding PUSD Algo. Let's go, PulseChain. I want to see Signum running as expected, and then we will announce our plans. So Signum is what he's waiting to run. We know that that's probably going to be in 10 days time plus, and that'll be the first Oracle on PulseChain and then edit for PUSD Algo. So let's look at the 17th of February onwards. Then we will announce our plan. So we're expecting the plans to be announced after they've seen that running properly. So that could get us an update before the end of February for PUSD Algo, when we'll see what the updated roadmap looks like. We may even get further updates. We have had the docs updated the end of last week, I think it was, or beginning of this week, I think maybe. Yeah, I think it was Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday. We had the docs updated. We're expecting probably some more updates there. Maybe get some UI updates as well. We'll see. But in any case, their plans will be updated possibly before the end of February, following the Signum, if it gets up and running in the week of the 17th. So don't worry, says Jacob. No one who believes in me will be disappointed. As always, build and deliver. You have all been patient, and now it's my time to deliver. Now, there were some talk about the town of reaching $1 million. We've obviously Rack and Michelle has become aware of this. We know that his frontman Steve Hitson may or may not be evaluating it. They're certainly aware of it, and so we'll see where they head there. Now, I've got a whole series of videos from about a year ago when the testnet version of PUSD stablecoin was on PulseChain. You can definitely check that out. That's a series on this channel, and it has a lot of the key components. There may be some updates since then to match where he's heading. Now, this may or may not be integrated with Mafia. It would make a lot of sense, because Mafia is going to have a V3 DEX that's going to have a lot of coin offerings, and of course, having your own stable coin in there as well would be pretty amazing. So that is where I think we're heading. If you think about the Mafia tokens, we've got Mafia. We're going to have bullets and hearts, but we're going to probably open up to a multi-token offering. And of course, Jacob did like my comment on that in the Telegram group about multi-token offering. That would make it a pretty much a full-scale DEX, V3 DEX there. V3 DEX is really cool because you can take out the fees and do all sorts of fancy things like that. You can also do, full normal distributions of offerings, supply offerings in there. You don't have to just choose a particular supply side, a sell side or buy side, one token or the other, or both tokens. You know how it rolls. So it gives you a lot of flexibility there. Yeah, pretty exciting. You have all been patient. It's now my time to deliver. What does that mean? We're going to have to find out. So maybe we'll find out after Signum launches on the 17th and before the end of the month. And maybe there's other funding that's going to come in. But in any case, people can contribute to that success. And remember, this is not a sacrifice or contribution like any others. This is going to be 50 to 75% of the funds that get raised go straight into the protocol day one. Straight in the protocol day one, and potentially linked to the V3 DEX on Mafia. That's my speculation. That hasn't been confirmed, but did get a big thumb up there from Jacob. So we'll call it indirect confirmation at this stage. But once again, pretty excited where this is going to head to. And the earning potential is going to be amazing, right? So amazing earning potentials on Mafia, amazing for PUSD Algo, and potentially the stablecoin was just so much better than the Coast one and the liquidity forks, not in the sense that they offer value, because they do, particularly arbitrage and stuff like that, but also the fact that the PUSD under testing was pretty much close to peg. It was close to $1, and that has a lot of market value. People like it when a peg stays to $1 as close as possible. So this could be a groundbreaker in the world of crypto, not just talking on PulseChain, but the solution to DeFi stablecoin would be massive. So if you guys want to participate, there are 2 bonuses you can get. There's the referral bonus, that's 90%. You will have to be patient, but that is the timeline I'm expecting. Probable update before the end of January, every February, following the Signum up and running on the 17th or onwards. So we'll just be patient with there. That might scale in time, but bullish. It's getting close. Like, we're going to get closer to an update. What will the update include? I do not know what it's going to do in terms of roadmap. I'm hoping that they can get up the project before they need to get to maybe find other sources of capital to do that. We don't know. We'll find out. But this will be pretty amazing. How does it integrate? Is it going to be, within weeks launch? Is it going to be a couple of months? Is it going to map the Mafia launch phase with the V3 decks, things like that? We don't know. We'll find out. Have a bit of a closer look there as soon as we get details. So anyway, you can get 2 bonuses. One, if you do sign up, you can use the link in the video description. That will get you 19% straight out of the gate. That's about $840. If with the 19%, we'll get to 1,000. And if you get to 1,000, you then get access to the second bonus, which is Bonus X, and that's a random number generated between 1.01 and 2x, and that will get you a massive, massive upgrade. I always like to look at ones that are pretty close to that, just to show you what I mean. So this person here used no referral code, which is, you don't want to do that. And they get $1,020 they sacrificed or contributed, and they got a 1.54x on Bonus X, which is that second bonus, and that they ended up with a total contribution, let's say, of $1,570. And for every dollar that they do, they get 20 algo, 200 flex, and 0.1 wrap PUSD, which is the reward version of the stable coin. And they ended up getting these tokens allocated, right? But this person here, they used a 1.19% referral link, which is in the video description. You might as well start off winning straight away, get some free stuff. And that got them over, they must have done about $645 or something. Sorry, $845 or something. That got them to $1,026. They then got that bonus X, because you get eligible once you get to 1,000 inclusive of the referral bonus. And they got a really good one here, 1.084. And they ended up with almost $1,900 worth for the contribution. Remember, they started off with $845. They ended up with $1,900 with those 2 bonuses, and ended up getting a really good amount of tokens here, sitting at number 119. So that's how much it plays. Now, that's the total supply at the moment of Algo, of Wrap USD and PulseX Flex down the bottom there. Remember, Flex is the reward token for the platform. So that is pretty cool. So Algo is the main token for the platform. You need that to issue yourself or mint yourself some stable coins. So you need Algo to mint PUSD. Stability miners is the main mechanism for holding the peg. People provide liquidity of all sorts of different types of tokens. I'm sure there's going to be more token offerings from that, and that will help peg the stablecoin. And that's going to be like Ouroborus, if you think about it. It's a real bot system, and it's a game changer in crypto. So there's many other features there, but check out the videos. So that's really an awesome update there for PUSD Algo and Signum. And of course, the testnet was live since the January the 9th there, so you can actually play around on the testnet, but we're waiting for the live version. That's going to be really huge for Signum coming up. So very excited about where that's going. So that is our update for PUSD Algo update. It's a pretty big one, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think we're having anyone make any comments? Seeing a couple of comments there. All right, so let's move on to some of the other big news. X28, Omnichain, and Ouroborus lending platform, which also has its stablecoin, but it's on Ethereum this time. USDX launches are imminent. I think they're both this weekend sometime. So keep a lookout for that. It's going to be pretty exciting. We're expecting a massive amount of attention and multiple protocols to be launching. I think we'll probably get some Titan Farm on base chain as well, launching pretty quickly after X28 goes Omnichain. So there's going to be already a mini ecosystem of X28 Titanx on base chain. So remember, they are on Ethereum at the moment. X28 is the Omnichain or multi-chain version of Titanx, and Omnichain basically is differentiated the fact that you only have one supply on Ethereum, and that gets distributed across other chains, as opposed to launching duplications and basically multiplying out your supply. So it's very bullish from scarcity point of view, and we saw how Richard Hart likes that. So pretty epic. We have had pretty good green candles the last couple of days on the old Titanx ecosystem. It's just gone a little bit red today, but otherwise it's been pretty nice. There may have been some little bridge crossover there to Pulse chain, who knows, for the incentive token cut. Sometimes you see a little bit of, because there's crossover in community, sometimes you see a bit of give and take. But at the moment, it's looking pretty good. Let's have a quick look at Titanx price here, because we've been following this pretty closely. Now, if you haven't joined our strategy club, the link's in the video description to that. $35 a month. We're pumping through intel here all the time about all these different topics. So definitely join up strategy club. Only $35 a month. Pretty easy. Pretty good value there. All right. So at the moment, we have the price doing pretty well. You know, we've had a couple of green days here. We're trying to break new highs, right? So we got pretty close to breaking 41,000 there. That's what we want to break, 41,050, and start printing a third wave, right? So we had the first wave, almost a 10x, came back about 85%, and we're looking for the third wave, right, which could be even more aggressive than the 10x that we have had. So that's what we're looking for. We're on the eve of X28 Omnichain, and of course the launch to base chain is first, and then of course we're also looking for Ouroborus launching on Ethereum, which is a big lending platform and stablecoin for Titanx ecosystem, but open to all Ethereum there. So it's going to be pretty massive. Now that is going to be where we are there, but I've been looking at the ETH ratio, and what was interesting was that when ETH plummeted from 3,400 down to 2150 the other day, Titanx hardly moved. That was phenomenal. Titanx hardly moved. It was pretty dramatic. I think this was red day here. That was about it. 2nd of February there. So it hardly moved, and that was a big sign that you know, spending was, sellers were pretty much over, right? They'd already sold down pretty much 85. They're pretty much exhausted there, and there were a lot of bots operating in the Titanx ecosystem, you know. So I was very impressed with that. Anyway, since that time, from the 3rd, we have been up and away. We already broke our first line here of 1,300. So this is 9 zeros, 1,300. This is Titanx ratio to ETH on Ethereum. And then we even went up, managed to get up to the second tier, which I was very excited about. We got up to 1,500, you guys know, and we actually got a high yesterday of almost 1,600. So pretty exciting. The next tier, of course, is 1730. I want to get over that, and next tier after that is 1930. These are horizontal, of course, resistances. What we want to do is we had this downtrend where we had lower highs, right? So, and lower lows, and we're trying to get it so we can get our third wave and start printing some higher highs and higher lows, right? So that's kind of what we hit, and so far we're doing pretty well here at 1,500. I'm pretty happy with this progress from there. Not bad. So what's the ratio up from the bottom here? So we're pretty much up about what actually doesn't tell me, but almost maybe probably 70%, 60% there. Pretty epic. So let's see where we go here. Nice little consolidation, little breather. We've got plenty of room on the RSI runway. If we go back to US dollar there, we've actually got plenty of room on the RSI. So that's pretty cool. I haven't got the RSI up at the moment, but we have got plenty of room as well. So looking forward to this. So that's where Titanx is at the moment. Obviously, the X28 is the Omnichain version of Titanx, and that is currently at 1-to-1, which is down slightly from 101. So that's pretty interesting. That's got closer to Titanx there. So we're going to watch out for that too. And that is where we're going. So X28, not a lot of it at the moment. So let's have a good look at the supply of Titanx and X28. So we're at 98.5 trillion now. So we're almost at just below 44% circulating supply. Of importance, though, is liquid supply. That's at 66.7. That will move around quite a bit depending on how staking is going, but more importantly, how the BOT protocols, these are all the second layer protocols built on Titanx, including LPs and stuff like that. So that is typically how the liquid goes up, right? But overall, the burn number is going up. We've crossed over 56% now. We're 125, almost 125.7 trillion Titanx burned up there. How about that? Now, the actual value of circulating supply is 38.9, so just under 39 million. But let's go to the liquid. Liquid is at 26.3 million at the current price of Titanx. But the buy and burn, let's have a look at that. So 20, just remember that now, 26. The buy and burn on V1 is currently at 11.7. So it's got this kind of like a buy and burn, but it's kind of like a DAO collateral backing of 11.7. So that's not bad, right? That's not bad versus circulating supply of 26.3. So pretty awesome. That's maybe 55% of backing there. So looking pretty good there. And of course, we know in marginal markets that's super duper, right? That sort of backing. So that is pretty cool. That's where we're going there. Now, in terms of X28, so when people convert Titanx to X28, 50% of the Titanx gets burned. So it's a real burner of that number there, that 98.5 trillion. Could get burned very quickly once we go Omnichain to base chain. Certainly make a big dent in the number. And the other 50% of Titanx goes into the buy and burn and burns X28, right? So it's a massive transformer for that. At the moment, the stats is 2.4 trillion X28 in supply, about just under $1 million. And that is ticking away there, and 18% liquid at the moment. That little blue line there, 18% liquid. Pretty crazy, right? Now, there is this new category, bridged out. And this is base chain, right? Bridged out. This is going to be base chain and any other chains that launch. What bridges are there? Well, they're using the layer 0 technology, right? Pretty proven technology. And you can see layer 0 at the bottom there. And the first one enabled is base chain. The rest of them all grayed out. Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, Blast, you name it. Sonic, Avalanche, they're all grayed out there. But base is next, right? So that's going to be where you can transform it over to base. Some of the protocols launching on base chain from the Tightnext community will no doubt have a lot of that's automated in the background. So people probably won't need to care about that much. That's going to be pretty exciting. All right, so that is the play there. We're excited about that. Now, I want to talk about X28 that we've done that. That's probably imminent this weekend, is my guess, queuing up for that. And then the other one is, of course, Shogun. Shogun is obviously going to benefit from that, so we're going to keep a lookout for that. It's kind of the PDC version on the Tightnext ecosystem, and that's paired with X28, so it should benefit a lot there. And maybe Shogun ends up going to base chain as well. It's not going to be duplicated over there, so it's going to get another benefit like Tightnext potentially. So we don't know quite what's happening there, but that is definitely on the keep that on the sidelines, as it were. But keep a lookout for that. What else we got there? Vault at the moment ticking away. We're going to be keeping a lookout for that. The supply is getting scarce, and we got a big update for this, right? Vault. So big update for Vault. We're at 44% almost is the buy and burn, and we're down to 588.3 million tokens. Not a lot of tokens on Vault, so that's definitely eaten up. Now the Treasury Vault's at 8.1 million, but the LP wallet is in existence, and that keeps topping that up. So that is the play. But better yet is the roadmap, right? So the roadmap coming up. Let's read that out because we've got a fresh update on that for staking and Thunder staking for Vault. So Vault is hot off the press today. So Vault staking audits are complete for Vault staking. Yay! We had the third and final one. That is now complete. And we're just now, and Stevie D is now just fine tuning the front end and running final tests. So that is for Vault staking. So this liquid supply going to be in a bit of demand. We may see some good buy pressure on that for people to go in and earn some fees from Vault staking. It's going to have different staking period reward periods, like 8 days, 28 days, that sort of thing, 88 days, something like that. And it's going to earn the pool. So the pools will be 3, right? Earns 1%. So whatever the volumes are, it's going to be 1% of that distributed, and so on. So it won't include past volumes. Those are all feedback apparently into the LP pool, as I understand it, which thickens up the LP, which big contributor why Vault's got such big LP. But that's going to go into the fees there, and so we might get some good buying demand for that when Vault Thunder for staking, I think it's called, coming out. So keep a look out for that. And also Vault is burning away probably about 1 million a day. Vault is burning away at the moment. So that supply is getting scarcer and more utility is coming to it. So you think about the maths there. But if you thought Thunder staking is going to be good, because that is going to be good, then the Bitcoin Genie is coming. That's a mega project, and that is at the frontier of DeFi 3.0. Audits are starting this week. So this is hot off the press today. Audits are starting this week for Bitcoin Genie. I'm very, very excited about this project. I will be promoting it. I still have to read the white paper. So when I say promoting it, I'm subject to the white paper, but I'm pretty confident in this. This is the frontier of DeFi. Moving from a supply side mechanisms to really buy side mechanism and sustainability. So we're looking forward to this and entering the Bitcoin collateralization as well. So bringing Bitcoin into the picture too, I think is perfect timing. Audits are starting this week for Bitcoin Genie. The front end is done. So the front end for the website is done. And the white paper, Stevie D says the white paper is going to blow minds. It's going to be the best white paper out there. I'm certainly excited about it. We know that Stevie D is great with his graphics and artwork as well as tokenomics. He is the tokenomics king, pushing through DeFi 3.0. Easily the best in crypto, he says, with the rocket bags. He's going to go on streams to break it down. I'm hoping to get him on this channel, and we'll try to get Stevie D so you guys get the probably the world's frontier of DeFi on the channel. I'd really love to get that. It's simple yet deep with some seriously powerful angles. And honestly, this isn't even marketing hype. I'm just trying to hold back. But Bitcoin Genie might as well be called Genius there. So I'm very excited about that. Get excited. because that is coming down the line there from Stevie D. So that is a big update there today. That is going to be potentially massive and big for Vault. And so, yeah, get yourself, if you want to get some bags, you think about, do your due diligence as usual. But that is looking hot to me. All right, let's just scroll down here a little bit here. And we're going to get into Ouroborus. So Ouroborus there has already got a stable coin. So the token is ORX. It's the token for Ouroborus. It's currently at 10 cents. So it's had a nice little rally from like 3 cents or so up to 10 cents, doing very well at the moment. 70,000 Titan-X at the moment for one ORX token. And of course, you guys know the supply has a lot of dripping in it and all this sort of stuff. And people are currently, participating in that. So you can see their ORX minted there. And page, and of course has all the details at the buy and burn balance, the RX minted, the RX vesting, RX stage, etc. And then you see the price chart there ticking away there on the hourly, which is pretty cool. We'll put it in the daily, shall we? There's the hourly chart, the daily. Let's go to daily. Pretty exciting. So that is ticking away at 10 cents, looking pretty good there. You can see that chance performance. So everyone's pretty excited about it. Now, I want to get into the news there. So that is the token for the platform, but the platform itself with lending is down here, USDX stablecoin. That is coming, and we believe that that's possibly launching within the next 24 hours. That's hence the word imminent on the title of the video. And we may get X28 launching by the end of Sunday too, possibly Monday Kiwi time, but definitely imminent for that. So that is pretty exciting. That is going to be huge. And of course, that's going to potentially attract millions of dollars in capital. The more the merrier, right? So the more the merrier, and the more leverage impact that might have. So obviously, it's taking in Titan-X and Dragon-X at first, then Ethereum as collateral. We'll expand that collateral offering. We model collateral system, and then of course that's backing that stable coin. The stable coin, of course, USDX there. That's bullish for PulseChain. Bullish for Titan-X ecosystem, bullish for Ethereum, and of course it is an open lending system, so it can attract a lot of other capital in it. Hence Ethereum being added. It's going to have obviously in the raising for Ouroborus, they attracted Ethereum, so it's going to have Ethereum pairs there too, and of course it's going to have multiple stable pairs as well, USDC, USDX, for example, things like that. So double pairing, so going to be very powerful. We've already seen X28. Titan-X stable pair added on Titan Farms. It's sort of an opening gambit for Ouroborus. Very excited about this. We may see it go Omnichain as well. We'll see. It's obviously a bigger protocol than normal with a stable coin backing behind it. Now, it's going to open up more trading pairs and could potentially attract millions of dollars in capital. We're going to see how big, but excited for where this is going. Very, very cool. So that is where we are on Ouroborus. So keep a lookout for that. Could be launching. Now, you can find all the stuff on titanxhub.com. So I'll post the link in the chat there if you guys want to check it out. That is all the details there. Keep a track there on Telegram and X. So very excited about that. We talked about Bitcoin Genie coming down the line. And I'm also pretty interested in Tauros as well, coming from cryptographics there. Well, I really like game-changing type of tokenomics. See people can crack the golden crypto, right? Can they get that golden crypto tokenomics, and can you be a part of it? That's part of chasing. You can always go into the low-hanging fruit, but also being in some of the frontier stuff's exciting because someone is going to get closer and closer to cracking great crypto, right? And I think Titan-X is one of those at the frontier of DeFi 2.0, and I think Bitcoin Genie may very much crack the Bitcoin, DeFi 3.0. Really is heading us in that direction. A big shout out there to Stevie D. So that is some exciting stuff there happening. Very excited about where all that's heading there. So lots of things happening in the Titan-X ecosystem, and a nice little recovery there for the ratio over 1,500 there on the wrapped ETH right now on Titan-X. So pretty awesome. That's pretty much it. We're almost an hour on the live stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. It was a huge update, massive updates today. Richard Hart in the play, PulseX incentive inflation cut 10x. PUSD algo update probably expected by the end of this month. The Signum Oracle as well by the 17th plus third week of February. So we're getting some major upgrades there to PulseChain. X28 Omnichain likely imminent on there. That probably this weekend is my guess. Ouroborus launch looks within the next 24 hours, so that's definitely imminent, and that could be transformative for Titan-X, which is just the beginning of the third wave there. The timing is perfect for those protocols and moving to base chain. attracting a lot of attention there. We know the LP guys have a lot of associations on base chain. If that connection with those communities goes up and these tokens take off, you'll attract potentially tens of thousands of users over there as well, which is going to be huge for an Omnichain approach. We've got scarcity on Ethereum being distributed over to other chains, making it even more scarce. It seems pretty exciting. And the buy and burn bots operating. We also know that they're moving into new territory in DeFi 3.0, including AI agents, liquidity webbing, and many other things. So it's going to be really fun to see that play out as we move forward into the bull market. So peace, bring it on is all we can say. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. I'll also see you on Discord. You can join up there as well. Links in the video description. Only $5 a month for the PulseChain Hex Discord. If you want to become part of the strategy club, that's $35 a month, and we're constantly passing intel in there. And of course, if you want to join PUSD Algo, get that free 19% bonus. If you do something like $840, that will get you $1,000, and that will get you access to the bonus X, which could get you a random number bonus up to 2x. Which are pretty awesome. Now you might get the lower end, just take that into account. But if you do get up the high end, that's even more bonus, right? Something for free. And then you just have to be patient, waiting for it to launch. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. And I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao for now. Man, I love all the stuff. OA too, playing games on the stakers as well. It's this game on here. All right. Bye for now.